All right. Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Family Case Files. And today we're joined by my legal advisor, Joanne Denison,
Hey there.
and no co-host today, but we don't need one because we're trying to preserve as much internet connection for this as possible. We're trying to get Kara on the show uh, for a week or two now, which reminds me we have Kara Witkowski with us.
Hello.
All right, yes. So let's dive right in. Kara, tell us your borderline issues here. Let's hit the bullet points.
Sure. I'm in a situation where I was a domestic violence victim, and the perpetrator has custody of my children right now. He was arrested for my sexual assault, which is on record. He admitted to the assault in open court in front of the judge on record. He was found with a hard drive that contained photos of children the same age as my daughter, just wearing underwear, and then 3 photos that were completely nude. This is also on record. He still has custody of my children, despite all of this. I have not seen my children now in 3 weeks. I have been gag ordered regarding social media. I'm not allowed to say anything on social media in relation to my case. The court is the Kane County Judicial Center. My judge is John G. Dalton in courtroom 101. And he is the only presiding family court judge and order of protection judge that hears these cases in Kane County.
Is it your husband or ex-partner?
Ex-partner / father of my children.
All right. So the bio father, and that was your partner. And when did you first meet him? So what year did you meet him?
I met him 5 years ago, so that would be 2014.
Yeah, 5 years ago, 2014 is fine with me. And how many children do you have with this partner?
2. I have a daughter who is 3, and I have a son who will be 2 in October. Actually, my daughter just turned 4. I apologize. She just had a birthday.
That's
so
fine.
She is 4 now.
An idea of the age of the children, how long you've known this, not much of a gentleman, obviously. And you talked about the fact that he was charged with a crime of sexual assault, correct?
He was not charged. He was arrested. They
All
did not charge him.
That's absolutely terrible. Did you get an explanation of why he wasn't actually charged with a crime and what?
I have never gotten any explanation regarding why he has not been charged, and he admitted in open court in front of a judge that he did rape me. And I have it even on transcript from the GAL's report that he admitted.
What does this guy do for a living, or who does he have? Some political background, maybe his family, something like that.
So, yes, he is associated with the godfather of my daughter, whose name is Lawrence Thomas Reardon. And Lawrence Thomas Reardon's father is Thomas Reardon, who is the owner and CEO of Maple Ridge Farms, which is a multi-million-dollar company located in Wisconsin. And he has a lot of political connections. He knows Supreme Court judges. He knows state senators. He actually knows J.B. Pritzker. He knows the Clintons. A lot of political pull there.
So then what happened was this guy was arrested for sexual assault. What year was that?
Yes, he was arrested on March 19th. Or I'm sorry, my sexual assault was on March 19th. He was arrested on the 22nd of March, and he was taken to Elgin jail.
What happened at Elgin jail? He just wasn't charged there? What happened? Crazy.
They never fingerprinted him, which I found very odd. They never gave him a mugshot. They just released him. And they told me that
he must have called somebody with a lot of clout.
yes. And there's no record of him even having to do bail or anything. Just released, and that's it. No questions asked.
And this was in 2014, you said?
No, this was this year that he.
Good. I mean, I'm sorry. First of all, I apologize for this.
It's okay.
Horrible. And he was arrested this year in 2019. So my suggestion, what you might want to do, is look at filing a civil suit against him for sexual assault. Because you have the proof, the admission, and you need to find an attorney who's willing to go up against whatever huge money evil cabal that's going on. So that would be your first step. Well, it may not be your first step, because your first step is to get those kids protected.
Exactly, because there's my daughter has had to go through already 6 different rape kits, and my son, who's not even 2, has a permanent prolapsed rectum, and he
Oh
had
my God, that's horrible.
And he had to go through a rape kit as well.
And now you think that they're not prosecuting because the father is using political connections to block that?
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I don't want to allege anything that I don't have complete proof of, but it just doesn't make sense with what's going on, why nothing is happening to him.
You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to do math.
Right, exactly. But that's what they're using against me in court. They're calling me a conspiracy theorist. They're saying because I have PTSD that I'm not in my right mind, etc. I've had 3 evaluations stating that I'm not a danger to myself or my children, and the GAL is still stating that she doesn't believe my own therapist and my own psychiatrist in saying that she thinks that I'm going to hurt my kids because of how much I hate Tom.
All right, who is the GAL?
Her name is Julie Hurdle.
Hurdle?
Julie, Julie, Hurdle, Pirtle.
All right, fine. Because we want to get that out there to make sure that nobody's dealing with this crazy crap GAL. That's insane. And of course, we have the judge's name too.
Right.
Now, that's the judge with the protective order. You wanted to get a protective order, correct?
I have an order of protection. I have a 2-year plenary order of protection,
Good.
which was signed by the same judge who gave custody of my children to Tom. Now, the really interesting thing about this is he did this through a temporary order of which I wasn't even present for because I was at work, and it was an emergency petition, but I've never had a plenary hearing. So it's just been this temporary petition that's gone on now for 4 months.
That's absolutely crazy what's going on. Your case is just horrible. It's horrendous. Has DCFS gotten involved?
So this is the interesting thing about DCFS. I was actually on a phone call with my ex's attorney. My ex's attorney called me, spoke to me for an hour and a half, and I have the phone record of this, and was trying to make a deal behind my ex's back about a parenting plan if I would take a Facebook post down, because he was so offended by one of my Facebook posts. And he kept saying that it's not his fault I don't have my kids, that it's all DCFS that is doing this. But I've never received any safety plan from DCFS. I've never received a hearing from DCFS.
Well, you have to, whatever is turned over to DCFS, you have the right to FOIA or do a Freedom of Information request. And I'll tell you what, Illinois DCFS fights people on this. They just don't give over the documents. So then you have to go back to whatever judge you're before, and including you might have to go to federal court and get an injunction. They have to turn the stuff over. Right now, I'm really concerned about keeping your children safe.
I'm terrified for my kids because my ex has no problem with hurting them to get to me.
I see.
Well, let me sort of step back here and do a little small recap. So I got a little lost there. What's the gag order for? The children or the rape?
The gag order literally just says you cannot talk about this case at all on social media.
Well, don't worry about
and
it. With all due respect to you, I don't think that's an issue. She clearly has a First Amendment right to talk on social media about all these issues. And I can protect her from that. All right? She knows
It-
she's got that First Amendment right. I know she's got it. And the judge issued the order. The order should have been, I don't know, it might have been immediately appealed, but they definitely, or you can go file suit in federal court and get an injunction against that, which is what a lot of women have done. I do have another client, Jackie Danik, and we actually fought out her case that way and retained all of the lions involved, including all of the judges.
Okay.
And we also tamed her ex-husband, who had a lot of money, power, and clout, and we tamed his attorney because we sued all the judges. We sued
There's
him,
something
the
like
attorney in federal court, and we just kept it going and going and going, and I'm sure it cost them a boatload. Now
there's
the husband pays on time, and there are no more gag orders, and they leave her alone.
good.
And he never sees his daughter because he's an abuser. He actually slapped a 6-week-old baby. So he has
Oh my
absolutely
God.
no left bruises on her face. He has no business.
I have pictures of bruising that I've sent through my documentation. My daughter had a partial black eye. She had a busted lip. She's had bruising on her sides, both of her sides. She's had bruising around her private area, on her buttocks, underneath her buttocks. My son had a bruise on his head right here. And there's video evidence of my daughter talking about how her father hits my son in the face and hits my son and her in the private area.
That should never happen. But at this point,
Father.
your ex has clout somehow. I think what you're looking is filing a suit in federal court. You need to get everything together. You can come and see me. We'll figure it out. And you need to put together that federal court lawsuit. You need to get it filed. You have two choices. I know you don't live close to Chicago, but the federal court is either in downtown Chicago or downtown Rockford. That's my understanding, right?
I can definitely get to Chicago. I have no issue with that.
All right, good. I think
Well, okay. Let's can we just break here for
sure.
commercial break?
Hello there. This is Lyra Jubb, and I would like to introduce you to two organizations I was instrumental in creating while enduring the harrowing experience of losing my children to the terroristic and broken system commonly known as CPS in the family court process. After losing my parental rights, I began seeking any assistance possible. The problem was that for as many people who have been going through a similar crisis as myself, there was no clear understanding of how to proceed after parents entered into the family court system. There were advocates willing to help, but different advocates had different information due to the confusion of the family court process. Their efforts were largely unfruitful as a result of this confusion, and many advocates were becoming overloaded with the barrage of parents in crisis. Over the past 3 years, I have been working with others to develop these two organizations and the websites to assist in dealing with this systematic failure. The Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families was founded in March of 2016. Our vision was to help families remain whole and to support families that have been separated work towards reunification. To find and combine groups and advocates who share this vision and want to help. We are here to assist in a wide range of family and community support programs. Our mission is to find and offer support, counseling, and advocacy for parents involved with family court, DCFS, CPS, related child custody matters, or any family-related matters. We aim to bring clarity, knowledge, understanding, education, and application to the people. We want to be providing the cutting-edge standards and abilities. We have advocates available to assist in pro se representation and provide on-call assistance on our sites and in the social network. We also lobby for laws to protect family values and reunification of families. We meet with federal, state, and local government officials and lobby for equal treatment of parents in the eyes of the law. We are dedicated to supporting parents and families with education, counseling, and nonviolent solution-based advocacy. The Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families is a faith-based nonprofit, and we do accept donations, and we have lots of outreach programs that we are pursuing at this time. If you would like to get involved, please visit our site at www.coalition4, that's the number 4, protection.com, and sign up with our parent advocate registration form.
Okay, so we're back, and I have to say here, because I know my legal advisor wants us to always stay on track here with the legal stuff and not so much conspiratorial, but in the things that we're hearing, uh, bruises around private areas, prolapsed anus, child porn on the computer, a rich family that's protecting this guy with political associations. I think this is close as we're gonna get, and dealing with child trafficking, because this is what this is, child trafficking. This is the kind of person who is a child trafficker or someone that's associated with it in some way or
Right.
form, potentially.
Yeah. Can I say something on that? Yeah. Can I say something on that though? So
Yes.
the NCEMC looked at this hard drive. That is the National Child Exploitation Missing Children Foundation. They're known worldwide. So they looked at this hard drive, and there's over 700 children that are identified and recognized on that hard drive. Well, 250 of those 700 children, they didn't even recognize. They're not even on their system. So those are all new victims that they didn't even know about. So this is most definitely child trafficking, without a doubt.
Has that been sent to the FBI?
Yes.
Good.
And the judge won't even allow this to be heard in court, and he's claiming that it is hearsay. And this is a forensic report. And my ex admitted that it was solely
Should be
his.
talking about your order of protection judge or your custody judge.
He's
Let's
the
get-
same person. It's the
Oh,
same
that's right.
person.
You didn't say he was the same person. Same idiot, right? Two idiots for the price of one. King County's amazing. I gotta tell you though, have you met or talked to Luella Thomas?
No.
She's on
I did not.
Facebook.
Okay.
Luella Thomas, she knows that King County is big on child porn and child trafficking.
Yep.
Because her 3 granddaughters were drawn up into it, and
Mhm.
apparently the police were like going to the son's house and raping the daughters all the time.
The
So King
police
County,
do absolutely nothing. Elgin PD does absolutely nothing.
they're in on it. They're in on it.
And
They're in on
the
it.
state's attorney actually endorsed my judge.
Who's the
No,
state attorney in King County?
Joe McMahon.
He must
He's
be
the-
really corrupt.
He's the one who didn't charge my ex despite him admitting to all of this. And there's text messages, there's documentation straight from my phone. They did a forensic report on my phone where he says, yes, I raped you. He admits it right there. He
Yeah, I
admitted
know,
it
but
in
you've got
court.
all that evidence, but we need to get into federal court because obviously King County's not going to do anything.
They
And
don't
if you
care.
talk to Luella Thomas, she'll give you details on all the police officers that raped these kids, the sergeant that was involved, the judges that covered it up when they came into court with forensic evidence from the King County Hospital or something like that.
Oh, are you
County-
talking about Sherman Hospital?
Yeah.
Because Sherman is where I got my rape kit done, and they have not tested my rape kit. And when I called Rockford Forensics regarding my rape kit being tested, and they told me they can't do it unless the Kane County State's attorney signs off on it to be tested, even though I already signed all the paperwork for it to be tested.
There are thousands of rape kits right now in the state of
Untested.
Illinois that are not being tested.
Yep.
Not touch. Now, let me. Can I just say here? Can I say something? Listen, this is just for comparison. I'm not. I don't know the race of your ex, your abuser here.
He's white.
But I was gonna say, not knowing uh, with someone like this who is a catch and release, this sort of scenario here, whether he knows somebody or not, it shouldn't be a catch and release. It shouldn't be uh, the sort of an issue. But just, I know I have been accused for far less. I've been detained because of the anti-theft alarm in the store will go off near me as several white people will walk out, and I'm just sort of there, and I'm detained. Not just to mention that any black man or any man of color, or even poor white people, doesn't matter, will be detained on allegation alone. And from my experience, Joy can disagree with me here, but from my experience and from what I've seen, when you go to jail, it's guilty till proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, B, nobody disagrees with you. All right?
Well, okay. My blood is
You can throw
boiling
that
right
out there,
now.
but
Okay, sorry.
I do have to tell you something. When my clients go to court, no matter what their skin color is, I have a lot of problems convincing the gentlemen to cut their hair, get rid of the beards, and wear a suit and tie. And I have to tell my female clients, you're not wearing the boho shirt and the jeans to court, please. And I go and I find my own black silk dress and put it on them, all right? So you also have to dress the active part.
Mm-hmm.
And I know and I have a lot of fights with people over that. But when you go to court, look like you're a lawyer. And you should, because you get a lot more sympathy. And I know you walk near the censor, and maybe this isn't fair because, women always complain they weren't wearing anything suggestive when they got raped, but we're not talking about the perpetrator of a crime. We're talking about somebody going to court. And I agree with you completely that the police should not be picking on people who are poor, people who are homeless, people who are colored. I can tell you stories about that in court. But the reality of it is, the more you can dress the part, the more you can avoid the other parts. So, and I don't want to say anything, but yeah, you're right. We got a problem. The police are not respectful of people. I don't know about the prosecutors or the attorneys. I mean, we're kind of used to people wearing anything in court. So, but you're right. The police are in control. They are very stereotypical. We also know the U.S. Supreme Court has decided that the dumber the police officer is, the better. There was that Supreme Court decision. I don't know how that helps anybody. Also, the police can lie to you. How does that help anybody? So we got a lot of things to do to clean up our system. But you are absolutely right. Kira,
Yes.
Kira, we have to talk about her, all right? Because she has a very serious case. We have to get her children protected. We have to do it as soon as possible. And I think, Kira, maybe what you're looking at is really filing a federal court, because I understand from what everybody has told me, King County is a cesspool of corruption. They're making money left and right off of child trafficking.
Yep.
And also making money left and right off of citizens reporting child porn, posting it to the internet, and giving the police a slice and a disk drive to take home and get handy with. You know what I mean?
One of the representatives, Keith Farnham, he was charged with child porn and he's still getting a pension from Kane County. He's still getting paid, even though he was charged with it.
My advice to you is we need to put together a synopsis of your case and fax it to every single judge in the state of Illinois and get rid of these judges. And we also have to get rid of the state's attorney, because the state's attorney, I'm sure, is on it. If you start scratching that surface, I'll bet you he's raping kids too. And maybe
he's actually stepping down.
What?
He's stepping down. He is not running for re-election.
But I want you to know there is hope there. Because a woman of color, which we should be so proud of, got elected as the state's attorney in Detroit, Michigan. They are from the city up there. And the first thing she did is she went and she tested 10,000 backlog rape cases that were kids that were in the state system. And guess what she found?
What?
She got 150 convictions. She got something like 50 serial rapists. And she
That's
got something like
incredible.
20 serial murders
Oh my
that
God.
set up on the internet. But the people finally elected a woman of color who actually did something. And I swear to God, she should get the Medal of Freedom. And that's
She should.
I heard about that. Yes.
Yes. I am very proud of this woman. I'm so happy she did that. She actually made a difference. And that's all we can do is to get her brother or sister down in Kane County to clean up that county. Because that's, or Illinois. God,
Yeah.
I wish he was a brother or sister because we could use it in the state attorney's office. Because we all know Lisa Madigan was part of the system. Her father, Mike Madigan, was the system. You know?
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
In Illinois. But really, Kira, you should contact me and we'll take a look at your case and we'll try and get it in order because I know you're floundering. Do you have an attorney? Anybody that's helping you?
No. All of them seem to get intimidated really easily and just want out with my case.
I'm going to tell you, I don't get scared by anybody. Who knows that, right?
Okay. Yeah, I hired this woman. Her name was Melissa Koffel. And she was confused with everything that was going on in my case. And I actually have emails from her being like, yeah, Greg A. Sams is looking into this. Tom admitted to raping you and all this stuff. And she was doing really well. All of a sudden, the judge wasn't letting her present evidence. He just wanted everything to be conferences. Yeah, there was violations everywhere. And then I get a letter from her. Stating I want $1,000 a month. And I was like, I'm a CNA. I can't afford that. And at the time, I still had custody of my kids. And she's like, well, if you can't pay me $1,000 a month, I have to withdraw.
Well,
So
guess what you have to pay me, Kara? Nothing.
Nothing?
Yes,
Oh, well,
nothing. Yes, and the reason why is because what kind of a person would I be to charge people when their loved ones are at risk of serious harm or death? Those are the cases I deal with. He knows that. And how can I charge anybody anything? I only ask people to make donations if you have some money, and I don't even really much require that, okay? So,
I always ask my guests to definitely make donations. It beats paying, $1,000, but give what you can, and it's good legal advice. It's something I want to put out there because we're rekindling our relationship with the pedo hunters. I've got a very famous pedo hunter in the UK coming on my other show. It's going to be fun. And this is something that we need to do as a society. Get the information out there. Even if you feel powerless, people, if you feel powerless, if you have the factual evidence, don't just mess with people saying, hey, this person's a pedo just because you don't like them. But if you have the rape kids, you have the documentation to put out there, at least to say that it got to court, we can watch these people and hopefully catch them in the act. Okay, we're vigilante justice. Too late, government. We're giving you too much time to do the right thing. You're not doing the right thing.
there's something super important that I wanted to add regarding my case. The judge has actually ordered that my children cannot undergo any rape kits unless he gives direct permission. And I have no medical rights at all. He took away all my medical rights and he took away all my educational rights. So the only person who's controlling the medical right now is the pedophile.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you. And I will talk to you, and once we're off air, I'll get your phone number, everything, and we'll get together and we'll try and figure out what to do. But I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I'm so sorry there's no attorney, police, or prosecutors that are helping you. I think that's a terrible shame. You have to change the system. You really have to change the system.
Can we get the name out there? She says allegedly.
Yeah, not even allegedly. She's a witness. She's allowed to say who her ex-partner was and actually factually what happened to her.
If
It's
you're
not
willing,
alleged. She's a fact witness.
if you're willing, we would like to know who this guy is.
His name is Thomas Jerry Beal.
B-I-E.
And his father, B-I-E-L.
All right. Thomas Beal.
And his father, who is assisting him in doing all of this and is the main perpetrator, abuser of both of my children, is Jerry Beal. Jerrybiel.
Well, I think that's important. And the reason why it's important is so other people are warned about these people and not to believe them or get wound up with them or have anything to do with them. Because these people have serious, serious problems. And you need some serious, serious help to lead you through all of this. And I know you don't have thousands of dollars a month. Why would anybody charge you $1,000 a month to keep your own children from being raped and abused? That's insane. Why would anybody even ask for that? I don't get that.
But isn't that the cop out?
I think it was a cop out. Yeah.
She
It was
can't
definitely a cop
afford
out.
it. Even if she could afford it, she's just going to take the money until she's drained, and no more money later. It's still a cop out. That's what I think.
Why isn't there any agency helping people like this, and why can't I get any grants? I applied for grants, and they tell me I do a great job of the paperwork and all that, but nobody believes there's corruption in the courts or that this is happening. I'm so tired of that.
I don't think it's that they don't believe it. I think they just don't want to do anything about it. Everyone knows Illinois is corrupt. Everyone knows that, there's stuff going on. They just don't want to do anything about it because they're
But
afraid.
does everybody know that Illinois is so corrupt that police officers rape little children and the court system covers it up and takes graft under the table? I know
I
how
would hope
they do it.
so.
I know how they do it. The FBI has not shut it down.
The FBI is currently looking into my case.
They should.
Hold on to it. Remember agents' names. Remember, have your report number, all that stuff. Don't let it go. And chase after these people. You call them every 2 days, every 3, every 2, every other day. Like, seriously.
I am V from the Red Pill Hardcore radio show and TV show. I'm here to tell you guys about my militia, the Red Pill Militia of Minnesota. The militia is there to protect the people of the United States from any enemy that may threaten our way of life, regardless of religion or political stance. We will unite the people as one to fight tyranny of any form from anywhere, including our own government. We will see the people free again. I hope you would like to join my militia. Please visit our Facebook page, The People's Red Pill Militia. Like, comment, let us know in general what you think. And if you want to be a volunteer, all you have to do is coordinate with our members. We're all honorary brothers of the militia because we all protect our freedoms. Our constitutional rights are the most important things that we have as American citizens. So please help me in protecting those rights and join my militia.
We have Kara Witkowski still here with us. We've had to do a little continuation here because we need to get more in-depth into her files. So now that we know a little bit about her story, where do we start with her legally?
All right, so what's going on with Kara is I've taken a look at her files, which is the first thing to do. She's also got me some very crucial transcripts, which was an excellent thing to do, too. And I took a look at the transcripts, and they basically tell the story of how her and her children had been severely sexually abused. The 4-year-old boy had a prolapsed rectum. The court didn't care. Basically, the judge said, well, we all have constipation, but Kara did an excellent job shooting back to her. No, we have constipation, but nobody gets a prolapsed rectum from that. She also talked about her daughter's sexual abuse, and the judge completely ignored her. He has had a prolapsed rectum. When did the prolapsed rectum was first diagnosed, or when did that occur?
I got a message on our family wizard from Tom on August 4th. He had the kids, and he let me know that he was bringing my son to the hospital. The prolapse occurred at 10 a.m. He did not take my son to the hospital until 5 p.m. So he waited that long with my son having a prolapsed rectum to do anything about it. And he didn't even take him to the hospital at first. He took him to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician told him, you need to take him to the hospital.
All right. Well, of course, if he caused it, he's not going to be so excited about having to go to the doctor or the hospital. So that makes sense, right? But the judge completely ignored all of the evidence, and she basically told you you're not supposed to report it anymore or get any more rape test kits, right?
The judge is a male, and his name is Judge John G. Dalton. He took away all medical rights without any reason to do that. He basically was punishing me for having sexual assault exams done on my daughter. I didn't even choose to have one done on my son. DCFS made that decision for me and never even alerted me that it was being done. So regarding my daughter, I was told by police and medical professionals that she needed to have these exams done. So if I didn't do that, it would have been neglect. And the judge is punishing me for doing what officers and medical professionals told me to do, and that's why he took away my medical rights.
See, I don't really get into like whether the judge is punishing you or not punishing you. You came to the judge. You told the judge, look, Your Honor, I have kids. They have obvious, overwhelming evidence of sexual abuse. You have to do something about this guy. Terminate his rights and give him supervised visitation. That's what the judge should have done. Because the judge didn't do it, he should be removed from the bench. I think everybody agrees on that. You need a better judge who takes evidence of sexual abuse seriously. So the question is, why doesn't this judge give a darn about anything? And I understand you can't go and complain to the presiding judge because he is the presiding judge of Kane County, right? So that guy needs to be removed. So we have to figure out how to get rid of him, how to write up your story, and get it to all the judges until they demand that this guy resign, because he does not belong on the bench. So we're going to work on that. And in the meantime, we're going to focus on your case, which is basically going to the Illinois Appellate Court and asking them to reverse this decision. So I think you have recent decisions, and you sent me the most recent orders, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what we're going to do then is we're going to file a notice of appeal on those cases. A notice of appeal has to be filed within 30 days from the date of the last order. I'm going to take a look at those, and then we'll get them all together, and we'll do an emergency notice of appeal, and we'll see if we can get a motion to get those kids back to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I think that's the next thing to do is we need to see how far up the state of Illinois is covering up sexual child abuse and why nobody's protecting these children. So DCFS is still doing their investigation, and you don't have a finding of abuse against your husband yet, correct?
He has been investigated 8 different times because police officers, medical professionals, myself, and others have all contacted DCFS, and they refuse to do anything regarding my ex.
All right, and this
Well-
is DCFS Kane County, right?
This is DCFS Deerfield office and DCFS Elgin office.
Well, actually, Joanne, I've got a question for you. Upon looking at these files, was there any grounds at all for giving custody to this man in the first place? Was there anything for him in the situation?
on my blog and everything, but the reality is this must be a really corrupt judge. There's something going on. This judge isn't protecting the children. And in fact, the GAL should be protecting the children. Has the GAL done anything to protect the children, Kara?
No, I actually just recently posted on my public Facebook page where my ex literally contacted my best friend the day they took my kids away on May 15th, when they didn't even give me notice of the emergency motion, so there was no proof of service or anything. And my ex had texted my best friend stating that Julie Pedo, who is the GAL, thought that I was going to hurt myself or worse when the kids were taken away.
Here's the thing. We can't get into all that. This is Julie Partle, P-A-R-T-L-E. Why isn't this woman doing anything? We need to file an ARDC complaint against her. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done on your case. So the main one is not to miss that 30-day notice of appeal date. We got to get that done, and we got to get an emergency motion in there to get the back to you. This is absolutely ridiculous. Julie Pardo should receive an ARDC complaint if she's not doing anything to protect the kids. So you might want to make a list for me of all the things that she hasn't done to protect the kids, or she's obstructed the process of protecting those kids. So maybe you can make a list for me, because I'd like to go back to the ARDC and demand that they get rid of her license.
Well, for one thing, she blocked my phone number only because I wanted to know where my kids were, where this supposed safety plan was going on, and I was told by Tom and our family wizard to contact her. So I contacted her asking where my kids were, and she didn't want to talk to me at all regarding the situation. She even pretended that she was in court, even though I could tell it was her voice, just because she didn't want to talk to me. She doesn't return my emails. She blocked my phone number. She has been completely biased towards Tom, which was seen in the GAL report that I sent you. I mean, that paperwork is absolutely just insane. That anyone would write up a report like that, it's very upsetting, the corruption that's going on.
All right, well, we're going to go through the report in detail, and we will, when we get a chance, get off a letter to the ARDC and demand that she be disciplined or disbarred, because she should be protecting those children. She has a fiduciary duty to do so, and she's not doing it. So the first step is to get in there and do an appeal, and then we also have to work on, apparently you have a gag order?
Yes.
All right. So we also have to work on a motion to vacate those gag orders, all right? How many gag orders are there?
2.
All right.
And now the other gag order is the third-party gag order. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, most gag orders actually cover the person who is to be enjoined from blabbing about things, and they just say you can't do it through a third party. They would have to show evidence that you instructed that third party to do it. But let's put it this way, gag orders are pretty useless in the United States. You can't keep people from talking about other things. The only exception would be a settlement agreement, and that's only in a civil dispute, which is a valid civil dispute. You can't use these gag orders like the Catholic Church did to cover up the crimes of, criminal sexual child abuse, all right? So there's a huge reason for that, of course, is because they use these gag orders to try to intimidate, young women and men for years from talking about the criminal sexual abuse. And then that way they hid it. And there was a huge case over that, I believe, in Baltimore. Some reporter got down to the bottom of it, and he finally was able to say, hey, they're making them sign gag orders, they're covering this up, and there's a whole system out there. And we need to have these people come and be able to speak. And I think there was a judge that just lifted all those gag orders. So gag orders cannot be used to cover up criminal activity. And that's why you need to make it clear to the GAO when you talk to her, when the court issues a gag order, which of course they're not allowed to do, and it's to cover up criminal activity, then you, Ms. Pansel or Princhel or whatever your name are, you're engaging in obstruction of justice. Go
Yeah,
for the crime.
and she was the one who actually recommended the gag order. And she talks viscerally about my social media posting in her report. And it's very clear in her report that she's stalking my social media and everything on it.
Now, you should block her. She's blocked you from calling and trying to find out about your kids. She's not interested. Well, she's not interested in getting your kids back. She's interested in demonizing you. In my opinion, I mean, I guess that's her position. But is this even legal, Joanne?
I would also report her to Facebook too, that she is stalking you and demonizing you. And I know it's probably hard to do this, but sometimes the police will do something about it too. They'll actually call her up and tell her to quit stalking you.
The cyber stalking.
On social media.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the right to do that.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have the right to do most of what she's done, but she has. And she put my children in danger because she's done it.
Well, she puts your children in danger because she's not doing her job. And for what, $350 an hour she's going to want to get for this? Absolutely no. She's supposed to take care of those children and protect them, and she has a fiduciary duty to the court to be the eyes and ears of the court and make responsible, reasonable recommendations, which apparently she's not doing. So that has to get done. And we do have to file the ARDC complaint about her. I know we talked about having you make an appointment to come in. I finally got my office. It's not together at all, but at least we can sit down and do the notice of appeal. We can also do some other things that will get the ball moving on this. What we really need to do is get rid of that judge, and that's going to take going after him as much as we can in the state of Illinois and letting the other judges know in the state of Illinois that this guy is corrupt. He's not protecting children. He needs to be removed. So I don't know how much you know about him or how much you researched him on the internet. So whatever he's doing, now there should be a committee to elect him. Should be friends of Judge Bolton or whatever his name is. Isn't it interesting? It's close to Bolton, who's another jerk. But we got to get after whoever is in charge of that committee and the CBA so that he isn't reelected and hopefully he's removed from office. In Illinois, we go to the Judicial Inquiry Board, and they basically do nothing, but we do need to file a complaint on him that he got this transcript, and we can fax it in too, which is good. He got this transcript. He's been informed that these children have been sexually abused, and he has done nothing. And I also have a bunch of emails and stuff for the FBI, and we have to get it off to them because something is going on here. These children are not being stripped away as a protective mother. This is absolutely ridiculous. When was the last time you saw your children?
Just over a month ago.
See, that's ridiculous too. Let's say he even thought you were in danger because what, you're reporting to DCFS, which is their job to take reports, or you report to the police. This doesn't make any sense. You should still have weekly visitation with them, supervised. So you can even file an emergency motion to go back into court and call somebody in with you who will be your supervisor and say, hey, you can't take, I have a constitutional right to see my kids. You can't take away that constitutional right. You can say that I have to be supervised because you don't like what I'm saying to my kids, or I don't know what or you think that I'm going to call the police unjustifiably. I've got my friend here, she's a CNA or a nurse or whatever. She's going to supervise the visits, but I want to see my kids and I want to see them every week.
They have offered that option, but they want me to pay $900 a month.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. To pay $900 a month, I mean, don't they usually just make you take classes, jump through all these hoops?
No.
Before you do that?
No, they don't just make you take classes. All right, but Kira, is that because they're pulling in a court-favored supervisor that's going to make money off of this? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
All right. So you bring in your friend who is a licensed CNA or practical nurse who says she's going to do it for free. All right? The court doesn't get to make these ridiculous demands. You're in a CNA salary. But you have another friend who is a licensed professional, and she's perfectly willing to do it. How's that sound?
multiple supervisor options, and I've offered public place options, which even the GAL stated would be absolutely fine, like a public library. And Tom and his attorney are refusing, and the judge is going along with their refusal.
Right, the problem is not Tom and his attorney, you understand, it's the judge. Because the judge should let you see your kids at the public library for 4 hours, at the movie or whatever. I mean, I don't even, so we just need to get rid of the judge. So have you tried to file a motion for substitution of judge?
There is no other judge who oversees OP cases and family cases in that courthouse.
Oh, you know what? He can turn it over to any other judge. Do you think that this is some kind of specialty of OP and whatever? No, file a motion for a substitution of judge. Put in there that he's unfair and he's unbiased. Now, you've got to be careful not to do the rulings, but I thought he was a little bit harsh with you in the hearings, and we could do that in order to get another judge. Maybe you got to sit in the courtrooms and see if you can pick another judge and say, I'd like to transfer to Judge so-and-so. All of the judges in Illinois have plenary jurisdiction. So that means even a judge who's doing law division work can hear your case. Even a judge that's doing whatever. And at the worst, you know, you can actually, if all the judges were biased, assuming that, you could even transfer it to another county. You could ask for change of venue just so you could substitute judges. But typically they'll bring in a retired judge to do it. But I would say file the motion anyway. And with respect to the $900 a month, you know, that's another grounds to remove that judge because he should go with the cheapest, most reasonable option. That's absolutely ridiculous. He can't stick you with his friend who's a court-ordered supervisor. And I'll bet you if you start looking it up or investigating this person, whoever he or she is, you're going to find out that they have some kind of tie-in with this judge, which again is unethical and unreasonable. How does this person how is this person picked? Who found this person for $900 a month? What do they do anyway that they're so special?
So Julie Pirtle, once again, was the person who found this place in Downers Grove, and all of their supervisors are paid $75 per hour. So given that I'm allowed 2 hours per day, 3 days, it's $150 a day. 150 times 3 is 450. 450 times 4 is 1,800. So Tom was ordered to pay half of the supervision fee. So 1,800 divided by 2 is $900.
And Tom wants to go along with this $1,800. And how is this? Did you check and see if this, whoever these people are that's running this, are giving kickbacks or bribes to this GAL? Why is she recommending these people when they're so expensive? $75 an hour, the kids should be getting therapy. Are you kidding? That's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I want to interject here.
Exactly.
I want to interject here. Who was, I want to revisit this. Who was saying that you might hurt yourself and all that? Who was trying to paint a picture of you? Because I think that is very important.
The GAL.
Okay.
The GAL and my ex's attorney were saying that, and none of it was proven to be true. They have never provided any physical evidence to the court.
Well, okay. For the record, here on the show, you're not suicidal, are you? You're not going to hurt yourself, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. For the record.
They have to have proof of this.
Right.
And not only that, it's a reason. And not only that, it's defamation. You know, when this comes up, Kara, you should just turn around and say, you know what you're doing? You're engaging in defamation and libel. Do you want me to sue you now or later? So when it comes up, just tell them that. I don't have a mental illness. I am not unstable. And if you tell anybody that, I'm going to sue you. It's defamation per se, and I'm going to ask for $50,000. So knock it off. And you as an attorney, you're not immune on that. That's just plain defamation. You can't just go around and make up stories and not have incur any liability over it. So when people start there, Kara, you're really good at standing up for yourself. The defamation and libel would be really good. And tell them you're not going to do it in state court where they can bribe the judges. You're going to take them to federal court. All right?
All right.
instead of driving right up a wall. Because that's what we did, and I've done in some other cases. We filed these federal court lawsuits, and we started with a gag order, because of the 42 U.S.C. 1983 deprivation of rights under color of authority. And maybe the GAL isn't exactly they're not technically a state authority, but I think they should be, and they should be held to that standard. And I'm telling you, this case has been rumbling around and generating thousands of dollars in legal fees. And the ex-husband is completely backed off. He's dropped out of the picture, and she's got her kids. And she gets child support on time.
I've got a two-part question for you because we have so much time for this. First part I want Kara to ask, and then you answered the later part. Kara, the child pornography, was that, you said that was on his computer. He had so many pictures, and was that taken by authorities? Is that a known issue? And if that is, Joanne, how can this be pursued to at least get this man out of the picture? Because he shouldn't be in the picture there in the first place.
Okay. So, yes, he had a hard drive that he admitted is solely his. He signed it over stating that it's solely his. And it had 44,000 plus images on it of children. Now, of those 44,000 plus images, and some of those images were animated sexual acts with children and adults. The other images, there were over 700 photos of apparent prepubescent children, and this was stated by Detective Katie Phillips and Detective Carter of the Elgin Police Station, where they were wearing just their underwear. And there was 3 photos specifically of nude images. So all of these images, 700 of them, were recognized by the NCEMC, so National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And so 47 were identified. 422 children were recognized, and then 280 children weren't even known to the NMEC. So those are children that hadn't even been discovered that were missing and sexually exploited children.
And he had photographs of those children on his computer, correct?
Yes.
And you went to the Elgin Police. Do you have the documentation from the Elgin Police on that? Do you have any statements from them? Do you have any?
Yes, I do. I have the forensic report, which I tried to bring up in court, and I was completely shut down by the judge. He would not even let me talk about it. He tried to shut me up every time I brought it up, and the GAL has the same report, and she covered it up.
All right, so that's an important report, and that would be good proof to the ARDC to get her disbarred. Because if she has evidence of sexual abuse, or that he is a pedophile, that should be brought to the attention of the court in making any kind of custody or visitation determination. And of course, she's trying to cover it up, but it's obstruction of justice. So we need to get together, and we need to file an ARDC complaint against this woman. This is just incredible. It's terrible. And I'm sorry this has happened to you, Kira. But, again, we will talk after the show about putting together a comprehensive plan or package to get you out of this hot water, including appeals. But there's a lot of things that can be done. That report should have been attached to a motion to immediately terminate his visitation. How many motions have you filed to terminate his visitation, his rights?
My previous attorney filed an emergency motion to terminate his rights, which I think I sent over to you. And
All right,
pretty much
I'll look at that.
Yeah, and it was just straight up denied. We didn't even get an evidentiary hearing, which we were supposed to get. And the judge turned the evidentiary hearing that was supposed to be into a conference with the GAL, my attorney, and my ex's attorney. So in this entire custody case, there has not been one evidentiary hearing.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's important that you did file that. So, was that before or after you got the forensic report that emergency motion was filed to terminate
That
his
was
rights?
that was before.
All right, so maybe what we need to do is file another emergency motion to terminate his rights based upon the forensic report. And we can also subpoena the police officers to come in there and talk to the judge about how your ex is a known pedophile. So maybe that's what we need to do is when we get together is talk about filing that emergency motion. But in the meantime, we'll start the appellate process, okay?
That sounds good.
And I want to address my anonymous brothers out there. We've obviously picking up on something here. We need to bust these child trafficking rings, the pedophilia, which is connected with the courts. You got the names of the judge, the GL. You've got the names here on the show. It's time to dox these people. It's time to investigate everything about them. Okay? My anonymous brothers out there, this is a call to arms. It doesn't get any easier than this. Okay? The judge,
Well, I think one of the
everybody.
first things I like to go ahead.
Well, that's it. I mean, this is just what it's going to look like. I don't think it's going to get any better than this. Being exposed on the surface, this is the tip of the iceberg as far as what we're able to show someone legally without actually being there. Now, I think this is going to set that precedent and get people to understand what's going on and to look at these situations like Kara's. These situations don't need to be taken lightly.
There is another name that I just wanted to add that's very important in all of this. So the state's attorney who should have charged my ex, because he without a doubt raped me, and he's admitted it even in court that he raped me, his name is Joseph H. McMahon. And he is the same person who should have charged my ex for the child porn. He endorsed Judge John G. Dalton the last time that he was running. And he has stood behind Dalton on all of this. So they are definitely connected. And the state's attorney is the only one who has the power to charge my ex. And so he has made it that my ex can get away with all of this. And they can just say, oh, he hasn't been charged. So it doesn't matter that he's just been arrested because he needs to be charged for us to have full proof evidence.
Well, part of it too is I think with the child porn, and it was obviously taken from the internet, so it's crossed interstate lines. I think you can still go to the FBI because of his large collection of child porn, which I will help you do. I mean, we'll sit down after the show and we'll type something up and get it to the FBI, all right? And also the statements from the Elgin Police Department, because this has to be prosecuted. Somebody has to take care of all this. This is ridiculous that he's walking around with child porn and he should be in prison. Because child porn should earn him an automatic prison sentence. He shouldn't be wandering around. The guy's exactly dangerous. I don't understand why the Elgin Police Department isn't doing anything about it. That's their jurisdiction over this.
Exactly.
Pedophile. Yeah, what are they doing? Why is the Elgin Police why are they so nice to pedophiles?
Not only that, but why is the lead detective on my case, Detective Katie Phillips, who investigated Tom for my rape, investigated Tom for this child porn, stating to my guardian ad litem, so she's getting involved in a custody case that she has absolutely no place to get involved in, and stating that I'm not safe to be around my kids. And then not even giving any proof as to why, just making this outlandish statement.
Well, report her to the Police Investigatory Board, too. Have you done that? Because she shouldn't be making that outrageous statement. She should be going after the child porn pedophile.
Exactly.
Why is she making that statement when she was supposed to be doing her job elsewise? So
yeah, she also stated in the guardian ad litem's report that she didn't feel a need to even give this hard drive over to the state's attorney. Now, that is not her decision to make. Her job is to look at the evidence and then give it to someone under the state's attorney, and then that detective will give it to the state's attorney. So she's making this statement, and it looks really bad on her, especially when the case is literally under review right now. Cases don't just go under review for child porn unless there is serious evidence there.
I agree. The whole thing just seems to be like so strange that there's so many people involved in covering up this short child porn and this
So many.
pedophile. It looks like
So many. Well, the thing though, Kara, you've tried getting lawyers and you can't seem to get one. But you did speak to a private investigator who will remain nameless, should remain nameless, and he said, "What about this situation?"
He said that it is the most corrupt family court case that he has ever seen. He said that it may be the most corrupt case that he's ever seen, period. And this is a man who investigates murder cases.
I think murder is probably far less corrupt than family court, and this child porn and the police departments and the child trafficking. That's what I've come to realize. It's rampant in Kane County. I've got another case out of Kane County, Luella Thomas, and there's a bunch of cases over in Kane County. So it's incredible what's going on there. And in that case, it was the police department and even the police chief that was coming over the house and raping these little girls that they were selling on the street. So it's just incredible what's going on. The police are not doing their job because they're participating in child porn. And that's probably as a result of our all-male police department. So maybe they apply for those jobs not based upon the fact they want to be a good police officer and protect the community, but maybe it's because they have access to child sex. That's the only thing I can figure.
That is usually the case when you have an all anything anywhere. There's something special going on because it turns into a special interest group. But guys, that's all the time that we have for the show. So I want to thank everyone for coming on to the show. And this has been another episode of Family Case Files. Please catch us next time.